welcome to round 1 of 8 rack, where I actively had to prevent myself from clicking the yes there. Ooh, I like this. Okay. So, I guess there's no reason not to lead on Raven's Crime. Opponent's probably on Storm. Oh, blue-white, I like that. That's good for us. Interesting. So, I think I want to lead on Inquisition. Cool, and I forced my opponent to use a remand that way. Well, not force, but allowed them to is probably a better choice of words. So we've got a Colo, a Foundry, a Bolt, and a Cryptic. I'm like 90% I'm supposed to... Yeah, I just have to take the snap because it plays the Bolt, so... Then we're just going to jam Lily on the next turn. Great, like, nice remand that we got our opponent to use there. What is this? That is nonsense. Ugh. I think I just want to fire off Wrench Mind. Can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck, right? So my opponent still has Cryptic Command in hand, but they're not close to casting it. I think I'm just in the Mutavault business right now. I think I want to fire this here. Okay. Ooh, that's... I don't... Well, I can't cast this Urborg against what my opponent's doing, so I'm just going to... I think I want to use Liliana here. Finish that. Okay, cool. I'm plussing that for sure. Extra Raven's Crime doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think I want to run the Wrench here and just get max value out of my cards. It's what, Cryptic and something else? Ooh, Nahiri, that was a good one to hit. Well, time to utilize all of my cards. I'm okay. Now that my opponent's got their Black Source, I'm okay using the Urborg. No need to put him in the rack. Interesting to note, you can't Nahiri the rack, but you can Nahiri the Shrieking Affliction because the rack doesn't tap. Far cry from the days when the rack... I think the rack used to be a mono artifact. I'm going to look this up right now. Or poly artifacts. Or poly? Oh my gosh, that was before my time. Oh. I have to look this up and see what the original printing of the rack reads. The rack. As my opponent decides slowly. Antiquities the rack. Ooh, we get to play spells. Continuous artifact. Sorry. Not mono or poly, continuous. That's the type I forgot about. This is a bonus on Magic Online. It makes it more obnoxious for our opponent because we can click whatever ability we want on our lands. Boo! Boo. Well, I think Mutavolt's supposed to get in there. And this forces the... There we go. Okay. I guess I could have held the land, but I kind of wanted to absorb the 1 damage on this attack. Interesting. Sweet. Why didn't our opponent flashback? I don't think it really mattered a bunch, but they might have been representing something weird. So our opponent's not discarding their own cards. This isn't terrible. This isn't terrible. I like those 3. I hate Dismember here. I want to get all of these cards out of my deck. I think Knight's really good. Oh, wait, what am I, wait, that, no. Whatever. I'm going to pour those in together. Let's see. They're not really discarding their own cards, though Nahiri kind of does. I need to pressure their Planeswalkers, I think, to some extent. Maybe this. Relic shuts down Snapcaster and a bit of Lingering Souls anyways. But it doesn't non-bow with me boarding in creatures and doesn't do that terrible stuff. Smallpox isn't great either, but I don't want any of these other cards. I don't want a Death Shadow. I don't want a Death Mark. I don't really want to Waste Not. Waste Not's going to be making a bunch of mana in this matchup, nothing else. Could have had Leyline. My opponent has apparently missed the memo and opted to play first. I like this hand. Oh, Mulligan. That's no good. That was a good draw. Let's lead on an Inquisition. So we've got GQ, Fortress, Snap, Nahiri. Okay. Trying to plan this Funeral Charm here. I don't think I want to cast it just yet. I think that this might be a key part of what's going on. I might be pumping my Mutavault into my opponent's Nahiri. I think next turn's a double Relic kind of turn. Probably Swamp Relic. And I'm okay if my opponent just Ghost Quarters down my Mutavault immediately. Okay. trying to figure out if I want to cycle a relic so I can draw a Liliana as the second card down and cast it next turn. It's actually pretty good times. I'm going to do that. That's fine by me. Okay, opponent has 3 cards in hand. Interesting. So I cannot double hunt Mutavault. That does not do what I want it to. I think I want to strip my opponent of cards, though. We're main phasing this because we want to maximize the odds of our opponent. We want to minimize the information our opponent has to make this decision. I mean, this might have been a little aggressive. There's a possibility I was supposed to use the Funeral Charm here so I can manage Nahiri with Mutavault, but don't know. Kind of like the idea of putting my opponent on not having land plus Nahiri there. Opponent now realizing they're going to take a million D damage off a Shrieking Affliction here. Go to 11, Nahiri to 6, they go to 8, Nahiri to 8, they go to 5. This might stay around so I can survive. Oh, I still kind of die to an Emrakul hit, so. Opponent's really in the tank on this one. Fast Planeswalkers are another problem for this deck. Like, if people play Dahmer Red still, I have no idea how this deck would ever beat that card. Let me see. The rack does damage, right? So you can redirect the rack to Planeswalkers? Oracle text says yes. Sure. Oh, I guess this could minus and kill the Shrieking Affliction. That was bad on our opponent's part. So, I think first things first, I just want to know what I got. Interesting. Well, that doesn't really help me. I think this is the right one. And this wants to attack Nahiri because that card just goes too fast. My opponent seems to think that's how they win this game. So, let's fire this first. Cryptic Command? That's not nice. And this definitely attacks our opponent and puts them to dead to Shrieking Affliction in 2. I don't think bouncing that Shrieking Affliction was a very good play. Yeah, now our opponent's here. And now they're here. Come on! Don't tell me you drew another counterspell. Cool. Okay. Stop drawing real cards. Yeah, I feel like bouncing that Shrieking Affliction was kind of weird. I guess my opponent's never going to get out of that by drawing. They should have, I don't know if they're going to get out of that by drawing cards, but it feels like bouncing the Shrieking Affliction does not a lot. I do like how I was complaining about my opponent drawing relevant cards, and they just didn't matter at all in the slightest at the end of that. What are they? This card is a land, yeah. Interesting. Well, that matchup's probably pretty good. Nihiri is pretty good against this deck, though.